Hello everyone, Johnny Minder here, and today we are continuing to learn Japanese with Pokémon Snap. Last time we finished checking the gallery. We replayed all the remaining stages and got all the Pokémon signs, except for one because I was so focused on getting a new Pokemon that I forgot to take the photo of the Pokemon sign in the 6th course. And so today we'll do that after doing the Professor Rock's check of the 6th course replay that we did last time. And yeah, so without further ado, let's start with that. And of course, after the replay and getting actually the Pokemon sign, we'll see what happens after that. Okay, yeah. Let's start. Let's open the game. And yeah, we have to load the save state. And yeah, we have already chosen all the pictures. And so we can go to the professor. Yosh, as usual, says our protagonist. Good, this exclamation. Actually, the classical form of the adjective yoi. And yeah, we can start. I don't remember if this counts as a special picture. Well, we won't know because it's too far away and... yeah, just like last time, too far, so yeah, it doesn't count. We keep the older one slightly better. Yeah, this had no chance, but yeah. But yeah, we got distracted because the... Magikarp getting punched by the Mankey was the first step for the new Pokemon. We have a Geodude. I doubt better, yeah, because of the size. Better pose, but yeah, we don't have an additional Geodude, so yeah. Not better. We have a Sandshrew. Actually bigger. And yeah, it says again the usual that it's rejoicing. It's rejoicing, but pretty sure we have seen it. If not for this very picture, it said practically the same, if not literally the same for other ones. As a reminder. Yeah, doubling, but yeah, actually not better because we don't have the additional Sandshrew, so we keep the other one. This one has a better chance because it's bigger. Yeah. Actually doesn't count for it being happy because of the Pokemon food, as I suspected, but yeah, it's actually better overall.
Yes.
We get a Yoshi. I wonder if... yeah, not even the size is good enough. Yeah, we get another Oshino. You were close as a reminder in English, but yeah, in Japanese it's simply... It's regrettable, unfortunate, and so on. Yeah, we keep the older one, of course. This is the new one. The one, still the famous one that I got distracted by and so didn't get the Pokemon sign. Okay, this is a new writing, so we'll check it out. It says O Sugoi Hakuryoku-ja. First and foremost, the usual O as an exclamation, just like O in English. Considering its usage, can be used either as a positive or a negative, or depends on the context, honestly. Then after that we have sugoi, first and foremost, the usual adjective, which means both terrible but also terrific, and so usually the latter more often than not, and so also amazing, great, wonderful, even though, as you have seen in this very series, the better adjective for wonderful specifically is subarashi, as Ok himself literally says, as we also hear. Hopefully we'll get one after this. But yeah, after that we have hakuryoku, which is a Chinese compound, so hopefully unaccented, as most of those are. It's a noun. It means, well, I'd say impact, force, intensity, also by extension impressiveness, presence, appears, strength, punch. But yeah, I'd say the best ones are impact or force. Ryoku is the one, is the Chinese, the kanji with the Chinese reading. This one, Ryoku. The strictly Japanese one is chikara, which we have seen, not sure if in this series also, but in previous ones for sure. Chikara, accent on the last syllable, means force, as in strength. Also ability, capability, and that's why we have seen it in Kirby's Adventure, for example. But yeah, and the previous kanji is the one which has the strictly Japanese meaning, the strictly Japanese reading, semaru. We check its accent. Okay, accented. It's a verb, which can also simply mean to approach, to draw near, but more often than not, as in to press someone for something, to urge, to compel. And yeah, this is the fundamental meaning of the kanji. I'd say the other one is the extended one. And so yeah, as you can see, press and then strength, and yeah, you can see why hakuryoku. By the way, actually accented on the ku, the first ku, so hakuryoku. So be careful, it's an exception, as we have seen most Chinese compounds luckily are unaccented. This one is accented on the second more from the start. But yeah, as you can see why it has this meaning, impact, force, and so on. It's a noun, and so last but not least we have the copula, ja. The usual copula used by in fiction by older characters, and yeah, because again, Oak is speaking and Oak is old, as we have seen throughout this very series. Yeah, so we can proceed. Yeah, also and yeah, we get a subarashi as expected. Can continue. We should get an additional writing here. Good thing the size is good enough. Okay, no. Unfortunately, it doesn't count. I think there was one where that it counted as them dancing. I guess this doesn't for some reason. Or I might be simply thinking it, but yeah. the way we didn't get it. We'll try it again actually, since we have to replay the course anyway. But yeah, we get more points for the additional grabbers. But yeah, the older one is still better for now. Astario not the best, but yeah, I have serious doubts. Especially the pose. Actually, the size was more or less the same. Yeah, we pick the older one. This one has no chance because of the... even though, as we can see, it's better when it comes to the size, the pose. Yeah, no technique, it's not in the middle of the photo, so yeah, the other one is still better for now. Dragonite should be slightly smaller. Actually, also the pose isn't the best according to Hawk, because it's technically tilted here, so yeah, I guess that doesn't count. It's better when it's up straight. Yeah, so the older one, better. Really bad picture, but what matters the most is that we got Goldeen. Something that I didn't mention last time is that its Japanese name, Tosa Kinto. The Kinto part actually comes from the noun Kinto to. Can't see the accent here, we'll check in a second on the physical dictionary, which is the term for goldfish in children's language. As I mentioned last time, the usual one for the usual term for goldfish is literally goldfish in Japanese, or better, with Chinese readings for a Chinese compound. Accent on the first syllable, so be careful, an exception. Kingyo. But yeah, the kin most likely the same, but yeah, then we have this to, double to. Here, only one, Tosa Kinto, but yeah, most likely it comes from here. I'll quickly take the physical dictionary. Okay, got the physical dictionary. Let's check if we can find it here, but yeah, I have doubts being a children's language term. And of course, technically not a really common one. Other ones, I wouldn't be surprised if I could find in maybe even the online dictionary plus plugin combination, but and in the physical one, but yeah. Let me quickly check. Okay, I got to the part here. Kinto. Yeah, no, can't find it. So yeah. Unfortunately, we don't know the accent of that. Let's continue. At least we know the origin now. I mentioned it. Yeah, really bad size. So yeah. But yeah, the good news is that it counted for the Pokemon. So yeah, we have we have to find all the signs because I actually missed it last time. So yeah, we'll immediately replay the valley, the 6th course. Yeah. Yeah, first and foremost, let's get the sign this time. Yeah, as you can see, you can actually do it immediately, and you should, so that you don't get distracted like I did. I'll try to get the Magikarp anyway, if possible, here. Too slow. Okay, yeah, funny enough, I got the Magikarp immediately while unfortunately missed again the Goldeen. Okay, this one is much better. Yeah. As it jumped higher and yeah, had time. Let's actually get an additional century here. Yeah, so we can get the second. These final ones are probably better. Try to get Sandslash quickly if I can. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, let's try to get a better Mankey there also while we're at it. First and foremost, let's actually focus on the Gravelers here. We got several of them. And I hope this time they count as dancing. Try to get a better... yeah, not like that, but yeah. We still got it. I could speed up, but honestly... like an additional chance at Starmie if I can get one of these. Okay, at least one. You could get multiple, and of course that would be the best, so that you'd get more than one Starmie. That way, too far away. Let's ignore. Too bad, too slow. We'll try to get some additional Pokémons here, like doubt it will be better, even though it would be nice to get the one with all the sparkles. Not 100% sure, but I think those count for the jumping. Don't remember. Last time I think I actually got something by throwing it like these here. Nope. Okay. Too late as usual. Let's try to get that Magikarp. And yeah, quite as usual. Actually playing the courses is quite it's quick. And yeah, so first and foremost, the sign finally. Could have taken technically better ones, better photos, but yeah, doesn't matter. Lucky it counts anyway. I like that Mankey at the bottom, so this one. We'll try showing this one, not the best one. Okay, we have somewhat decent. Okay, this one is technically better, but I doubt it will count for the doubling of the points. But at the same time, I'm worried that this might not be big enough. So between the two, of course, because if you, as you have seen, if you don't get the size right, then you can proceed. So yeah, more important that than the doubling to at least get more points to advance. A single Geodude, not the best one, but yeah, focus on it. We'll try this one, slightly smaller, but might be better. Okay, let's try here where it's jumping. Yeah, one counts as a grabber, but yeah, let's get a better Mankey finally. Horrible ones so far. Yeah, one where it's jumping. Oh, thank you. This might be bigger technically, but they're cut off, so I'll actually try this one. Would have liked another one where it's it has the water from its mouth, but we don't have it, so we'll try. Yeah, that's slightly cut off. This might be better. Let's try this one. Then we have this Staryu, only this one, but yeah, further, so I have doubts. Like this Starmie, yeah. We tried the one like that. Yeah, this is the one that makes the most sense. Yeah, I've already chosen that. Yeah, a single magical. Right, we'll try this. So yeah, without further ado, we can go to the professor for the check. Doubt we'll have any new writings. Maybe one for the dance if it actually is there. And it counts this time. Yeah, no, the older one was better. Like in the case of the Jutsu, most likely. Yeah, better pose, but yeah, not size. So yeah, and no, of course, additional Jutsu. This one might be better. Yeah, actually bigger, technically. But yeah, it's still happy thanks to the food, so still max for the pose, doubling, and also the additional sanctions.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, better, nice. Let's see if this one counts for the food. Yeah, it does. And I'm not sure if we have seen this before, but yeah, honestly, it's similar to previous writing, so I simply quickly translate it. Yeah, it says O, well, read O ureshi so ja no. Yeah, so it says O, it seems, as in looks, has the appearance of being happy. The usual ureshi, the adjective to be happy. So it seems, as in it has the appearance, so based on its appearance instead of the other so, which is it seems, as in hearsay. And yeah, as usual, the copula and then the final sentence particle no, an exclamatory one we have seen. The doubling.
Yes.
Yeah, so actually better, nice. We have now finally a decent Mankey. Yeah, so finally we can get some points for
Yes.
actually 2000 points and 10 in addition.
Korea.
And yeah, okay, there was something for the dancing gravelers, and yeah, so, and it's actually a special picture, as we got a Korewa. As we see soon enough, it will show special. And yeah, it says Goron no Dantai Engi. And yeah, first and foremost, we have of course Goron, the Japanese name of graveler. Came from Goro Goro, the onomatopoeia of rolling of something big, as a reminder again, because we have the DAC 10, the voicing of the consonant, because there's also koro koro, which is rolling of something small. Yeah, as of course accent on the first syllable, as per usual for onomatopoeias. There are some exceptions. We have even found a couple. But yeah, after that we have the possessive particle no, and then we have this dantai engi. I wonder if we find it fully in its in the dictionary. No, we can't find it. And yeah, so simply we have dantai, which means it's a Chinese compound, which means group, party, team. Also as in organization, association, group again. So yeah, the fundamental meaning, group. As for its accent, it's an accent, so as usual for Chinese compounds. And then we have engi, which, well, there technically are more than one. This one most likely is simply the one which means acting, or better in our case, performance. So yeah, technically a performance in general. By the way, it's another Chinese compound, but this one is accent on the first syllable, so be careful. We have seen that some have that accent, but more often than not we have seen unaccented ones, so yeah, be careful, keep it in mind as an exception. We'll quickly check, because there technically are rules for because in this case, as you can see, we have two Chinese compounds, and so we get an actual compound, as in a bigger compound, we could say. And I wanted to quickly check if I can find the rule for it. If I recall correctly, it should be similar to the rules we have seen for compounds. And so usually accented on the first syllable of the second part. Yeah, we'll quickly check. Not this. Let me quickly check. Okay. Yeah, because a good aspect of these dictionaries, the physical ones, the accent dictionaries, is that they have all these rules and tendencies depending on the kinds of words. Yeah, in our case we have Google. Not this one. Yeah, no, not this. I mean the part about yeah, unfortunately I can't find it, but yeah, we'll definitely see more compounds of this kind. I'll search it again, and hopefully I'll be able to find it again. But yeah, my guess would be, again, the tendency is, as you have seen also in practice with some words that had well, not specifically of compounds of Chinese, well, what I call Chinese compounds, Chinese terms of two kanji, it's more correct. But yeah, the usual rules are either the first syllable of the second word or the last syllable of the first word. My guess would be the former, so in this case I'd say dan tai engi, so on the e. And by the way, not just because it's accented on the first syllable on its own, simply because as a compound. But yeah, so yeah, the translation is simply a group performance of graveler, but yeah, of course, plural in this case. There's literally the word group, and yeah, so gravelers. There isn't a distinction of the plural. Well, there are some ways to make specifically the plural in Japanese, but it isn't required at all. The word itself can mean either singular or plural, more usually, like in our case, of course, we have goron, again, goron, no, dantai engi, yeah, we get 500 points, so we can continue. Perfect size, nice. Not the best pose. Of course, we couldn't get the 1200 points anyway, because that one was a special pose of its own, but yeah, not 1000. Yeah, we get the doublings, better of course. And we also have the additional gravelers, so yeah, much better of course. Yeah, we have Gyarados. Yeah, actually still counts, but yeah, smaller size, so we won't get a better score. So yeah, we keep the other one. This doesn't have particular chance. Actually, not that much smaller, but yeah, slightly smaller, and so yeah, the other one is better. This one has no chance.
Oshino.
We even get Oshino. So yeah, we keep the other one. A better picture for a much better compared to the previous one for Goldin. Okay, we get this new writing. O sugoi hanekata ja. Well, first and foremost, the usual O, as already mentioned. Sugoi again, so terrific in this case, definitely, as in amazing, and so on. And then we have a noun, actually a compound one. I doubt I'll find it as is. Yeah, I won't find it as is because, as usual, it's actually simply, we start from the verb haneru, which we have seen means to jump, to leap. Accented, okay, haneru, haneru. It's a reminder, so low, high, low. It's a ru verb, incident verb, so we can drop the ru to make the continuative form. In this case, required because then we attach it to the continuative form can be attached to the noun kata on its own, accented on the last syllable. It means direction, way. Also the other extended meanings. But yeah, in our case, way of, method of, manner of. And yeah, so way of doing the action of the verb. And so way of leaping, way of jumping. I quickly check since I have the physical dictionary, and this I should find from kata. The usual accent for, if there is one, for these forms. Yeah, as a suffix it says kata goes to these. Let's quickly check. Maybe it's even, could be even in the suffix part. I quickly check also there. No, there I couldn't find it. So it's in the rules, but luckily the dictionary pointed me towards the usage that interests us. Okay, and it should be this rule. Okay, that one. Okay, yeah. The rule is that it changes depending on the accent of the verb. So, if the verb is unaccented, it stays unaccented. For example, the verb yaru, which we have seen to do, colloquial, a colloquial form of suru, and other extended meanings. We change the u into i to make the continuative form because it's a u verb codon verb. And so yari plus, then we add kata, and so yari kata. Unaccented. For accented verbs, it can be either accented on the last syllable, so just like kata on its own, or on ka of kata. Actually, it has two examples where once it uses the one on ka first and the other, the one on ta second, and the other way around. Honestly, I'd say, well, you might hear either technically. And yeah, it simply says there are these two tendencies, so go for the one that you prefer. Technically, the closest one, the best one for you might be the one which keeps the accent of kata. And so, actually, if we don't add anything, it has the same accent as unaccented, the unaccented ones, because again, when we don't add anything, unaccented words have the same accent as once accented on the last syllable, or better, more in this case. But yeah, so in our case, hanekata. Actually, in this case, would be hanekata and then ja low. Hanekata ja. But yeah, so simply the translation is it's an amazing, terrific, if you want to stay even closer to the meaning of sugoi. So also the play on words with terrible, the other meaning. But yeah, amazing, terrific way of jumping, of leaping. And yeah, so we can proceed. Yeah, unfortunately we don't get doubling. It's not in the middle of the picture, but yeah, better. much better. We get have these at Ratini. And yeah, by the way, here it says, but I think we have checked it last time. As for this one, yeah, here we have the demonstrative pronoun. So technically this on its own. It's jumping. And yeah, so actually slightly better. Nice. And yeah, at last we have this magic up. Yeah. Oshino as expected, so we keep the older one. We have the Poké sign. And yeah, Subarashi, automatic. And yeah, as expected, we have a Jitsuwana. Well, let's actually go and check that out. Well, apart from the yeah, okay at the start, but we have seen that multiple times. Welcome back in English, in the English translation. But yeah, let's focus on the new part. Here it says, first and foremost, Toru, so simply the name of our protagonist. Then, Tsui ni Pokémon no Shirushi no Shashin ga subete sorotta zo. First and foremost, we have Tsui ni, an adverb. As you might notice also because of the ni in it. Well, technically, the ni could simply be considered, well, and honestly in this case I'd consider it as simply ni used as the particle for a specific time, because tsui also on its own is a noun, which means end, final, by extension also end of life, death, but yeah, the fundamental meaning end, final. When we add ni, we make the adverb, and so yeah, it means in the end, finally, at last. Yeah, also in the end, actually with negative verbs and so on, negative meaning. So after all, actually never happened. Something never happened. But yeah, in our case, in the positive, the affirmative. So, in the end, the closest translation to the Japanese, if you prefer, finally at last. Then we have in yellow, of course, the usual Pokemon no Shirushi, Pokemon signs, again, plural in this case. Then we have the possessive particle no. Then we have Shashin, the usual Chinese compound, which means photo, picture, an accent, luckily. Then we have the subject particle ga. Then we have subete, which it's used nowadays. My guess would be that it comes actually from it's, as you might guess, from the a te form of a verb. But yeah, nowadays it's used actually as a word on its own. As a word, as from the verb, it should be from suberu. The original verb should be suberu, still used by the way, technically in Japanese. Which means to rule over, to govern, to command, to control. to understand the meaning for this word, it's better the second translation, the second meaning, to integrate, to consolidate, to unite, to incorporate. And yeah, it's a root verb, it's a verb, so we can simply drop the root to add the te to make the te form. In this case, used to make technically a noun. We've seen sometimes, even though it's not typical, the te form used to make nouns. But yeah, usually we have seen the continuative form is the typical way to make a noun from a verb, not in contemporary Japanese, but yeah. And we got this subete, and since it's actually accented, also the verb suberu, the accent of subete is regular because the verb accented is in its dictionary form and also final form is on the second to last mora, so on su-be-ru, low, high, low. The te form is always on the third to last mora, and so actually, since it's a root verb, it's done verb, it actually goes backward of one mora, and so it's on the first syllable subete. And yeah, it's the accent also of the word you'll find for this word. And yeah, subete means everything, all, the whole. And yeah, as you can see, it comes from the meanings to unite, and yeah, from that to unite, to integrate, to consolidate, to incorporate, we get something that it's united, well, things that are united, and so yeah, actually everything, all, the whole. Yeah, it's technically a noun. Takes also the possessive particle no to make what in practice is an adjective, even though again it's technically noun plus possessive particle combination in Japanese. Also used on its own without adding anything else, also as an adverb. Yeah, so with the meanings, of course, from everything, all, the whole, all, entirely, completely, wholly. And yeah, in this case, entirely, technically, we have after that a noun. Sorry. We have a verb, so yeah, it's an adverb. Verb which is sorotta, from sorou. We've seen it before, actually, because of this Pokémon science, also in this very series, accented. To be complete, to be all present, to make a full set, to be equal, to be uniform, to be even. But yeah, in our case, simply actually to gather, to assemble, to be collected. Yeah, better to be collected again, because of the reasons I mentioned before, to not confuse it with other verbs with a similar meaning. It's a verb code and verb, so we have to follow the rules to make that a form. It's in U, so it becomes double consonant ta, te form or ta form, both follow the same rules. It's in U, so again, as a reminder, verbs in U were actually in fu, or better, in pu originally. And so yeah, we made the continuative form pi, soro pi ta, then the i fell, soro ta. And yeah, difficult to pronounce, so actually double consonant ta. Last but not least, we have the final sentence particle zo, and so yeah, again, made a term or language adds force, I'd say also simply emphasis based on the usage you have seen. So the meaning is in the end, at last, the photos of the Pokémon signs have been, better in English, let's say, have been all collected. And yeah, so we can continue. We got to hear also Oak literally say with the voice And yeah, so here we can literally hear written as but as you have heard, like a in English. And yeah, then after that we have Kono Rokumai no Shashino Miteite Kizuita no Jaga. And yeah, we have first and foremost, after the of course, the and the comma. Notice again how the Japanese comma is written. After that, we have kono, the usual demonstrative adjective in this case, because we have no of the Koso-Ado series. Ko goes to both the speaker and the listener, so far from the speaker, close to the listener, far from both. Do, the interrogative. Koso-A, usually unaccented, do accent on the first syllable. There are exceptions, and we have seen some of them. But yeah, the adjective, so this followed by something. In this case, actually, before the noun, the numeral plus counter combination, rokumai, again mai, the usual counter for thin and flat things like sheets of paper, and so of course also photos. They were like that when you had physical photos. It's a Chinese pronunciation, so yeah, also the numeral is in Chinese, roku. And yeah, as we have seen, luckily mai is easy because apart from the exception, which is for the number 5, which is unaccented komai, everything else is accented before the mai itself, and so in this case, roku mai. So the accent on the ku, and so low, high, low, low. Rokumai. Then we have the possessive particle no to attach it to the following noun and modify it. Noun which is simply shashin, and so yeah. These. So, of course, again, the singular and plural isn't distinguished. So we have to adapt it based on the context in English. So these, in this case, we literally have more than one. 6 photos. Then we have the object particle o, written as wo and pronounced as such in careful speech and singing. Then we have the verb mite, again from miru, to see, to look at, to watch. It's a verb, it's a verb, so we can drop the root to add te and make that the form. The form in this case required to add ite from iru, unaccented on its own, to be as in to exist of animate things, so people and animals. But yeah, after that, a form of a verb actually used an auxiliary verb, which means continuing action or state. Iru is a ru verb, which is a verb, so again we can drop the ru to add te to make that a form again. In this case, simply in the meanings, the usual meanings of the form, simply do the action of that verb and by doing the action of that verb, while we could also say technically doing the action of that verb. Yeah, in this case, I honestly say by looking at these 6 photos. Then we have the verb kizuita. a compound verb from ki, the usual, this one again the unaccented one, and so the one that means spirit, mind, and so on. And then we directly attach the verb tsuku, which then, as you see here, it then gets voiced, the consonant, we had the duck 10, because again, that's what often happens in compounds, especially those where the second part is strictly Japanese origin. And yeah, tsuku, we have seen it multiple times. It's the usual one, which means to be attached, connected with, to adhere, to stick. Yeah, so the spirit mind is attached, sticks. And yeah, so actually kizuku, accented, luckily, just like tsuku, means to notice, to realize, to become aware of, to perceive, to sense, to suspect. Yeah, the fundamental meaning, to notice, to realize. Also can mean to regain consciousness, to come to one's senses. Again, makes sense since again ki means spirit, as also in mind. And yeah, so these are the meanings. Here we have tsuku, and so also kizuku is a verb, Kodan verb, so to make it a form, like in this case, we have to follow the rules. It's in ku, so it becomes ita again. First, the continuity form ki, then the k fell, and so only i remained, and so tsu i ta, and so yeah, kizuita in our case. Ta form is so simply the past form of the verb in the affirmative. Last but not least, we have no ja, again, the no-da form, the no-da expression, no the nominalizer for verbs also can be translated as fact. The copula, ja in our case, because of course ok is speaking. It is that, the fact is that, explanation is that, and so on. And last but not least, we have this ga. We have seen that the meanings for ga are but, which is the most common one, but, however, and so on. Can also be used simply as an and. Also in the sense that it's actually used after an introductory remark or explanation. And yeah, honestly, again, this is our case. And yeah, so Ok introduces this explanation. By looking at these 6 photos, I've realized, I've noticed, and then after this it will say what he has noticed. And he says, korera wa subete Pokémon airan do kara mieru Pokémon no seiza nanja yo. First and foremost, we have korera. Korera, we have first kore, again the demonstrative pronoun ko plus re. But then we have an additional part, which I don't think we have seen before, or at least we haven't seen often, not in this series. this ra is one of the ways to make the plural. And so yeah, a pluralizing suffix. And unfortunately, it's one that it's used only with some specific words, like in our example with the demonstrative pronoun correrà. And yes, should still be unaccented. Actually, no, it's actually accented. It becomes accented on the re. So correrà. But yeah, simply keep in mind this word correrà exclusively these, as in the pronoun these ones, and yeah, also that this pluralizing suffix exists, but we'll see it again when the time comes for other words that use it. Then we have the topic particle wa written as ha, and so as for these, again the Pokemon signs. Then we have again subete. In this case, let's say well, technically could still work as the adverb, because even though it's there's something in between it and the verb. Technically, you could think kind implied, subject particle implied, but yeah, I wouldn't, honest, because technically the subject, I'd say, is the topic of the sentence, so correrà. But this subject particle gets replaced by the topic particle and is simply implied. Yeah, so simply I'd say all, as in entirely, and so on. And then yeah, after that we have Pokemon Island. So again, simply Pokemon Island from English. Notice again the O at the end, Irando, because the on its own isn't available in Japanese. We can't have zoo, because nowadays zoo can be pronounced technically as zoo, but not as the, z, or z. G D can be used either, because it's actually G. Yeah, so actually they use do instead. And yeah, then we have the particle kara from the Pokemon Island. Then we have the verb mieru from miru again, but in this case we have this form with this eru, which is actually, well, technically can be used as a verb on its own, to get, to earn, to acquire, and so on. Actually used also as an auxiliary verb, because of those meaning to get, to earn, to gain, as in to be able to, can. And so yeah, actually most likely this is the origin also of the potential form of verbs. In this case, instead of making the usual potential form of ruverbits and verbs, which is mi, ra, re, ru, often with the ra drop, and so mi, re, ru, also to distinguish it from the passive form, which is identical otherwise. But yeah, this is a special potential form. We've seen it before, and funny enough, because its meaning is to be seen, as in to be visible, to be in sight. also by extension in the sense to look, to seem, to appear, but yeah, I'd say the fundamental meaning is to be seen. Again, as in to be visible, to be in sight. Accented, luckily, just like Miru. After that, we have a noun, so actually up to here, apart from, I'd say, simply the topic, so korera wa, everything else, including the up to including the verb, is a relative clause, as usual, modifying the following noun, which is Pokémon no Seiza. Well, first we have Pokémon, of course, the possessive particle no. And then we have this term, this noun, it's a Chinese compound, Seiza, which means constellation. And yeah, actually, also by extension, constellation is the fundamental translation, but yeah, it becomes also the astrological sign, star sign, zodiac sign, because of course those are based on constellations, and yeah, so makes sense. But yeah, Seiza, actually an accent, so luckily just like most Chinese compounds. Then after that we have na-nja. Again, it's simply the nja. We have the contraction of no becomes n, because it's shorter to say, of course. But yeah, it's again the expression it is that, the fact is that, and so on. It's important that we have that na in between. And yeah, that's simply the rule that if we want to attach noda in its various forms to a noun, we have to use na. As we have seen, the na, like the ones seen with na adjectives. And yeah, because actually, as I think I mentioned before, not in this series, maybe in a previous one, the na is actually an older form of the copula. And so yeah, it's used with na adjectives, but also in this when we attach a noun to noda. Well, we attach noda to a noun better. But yes, translation. Well, last but not least, we have yo as the final sentence particle, as a hey, or you know, more for emphasis than. There are other meanings, but yeah, in this case, let's say simply emphasis. And yeah, so the translation, as for these, it is that, the fact is that they implied are the Pokemon constellations, which that can be seen from, can all be seen, the subete at the start, can all be seen from the Pokemon Island. And yeah, so we can proceed. And yeah, so after that, Professor Oak says, Kore ga nazo no kagi dattan ja. First and foremost, we have kore again, so in this case, these, potentially also these, but yeah, in this case, these, with the subject particle ga. Then we have nazo. We have seen it before, means it's a noun, should be an accented, means riddle, puzzle, enigma, mystery. An accented, yes. can also be used again as a kind of like an adjective by adding the genitive case particle, the possessive particle no. Not in this case, I'd say, also in translation, I'd say it's simply of the mystery, in our case, of the riddle, well, of the mystery better, let's say. We have the possessive particle as mentioned, and then we have the noun kagi, which means key. Can actually mean also lock, but yeah, often is more key. Accent on the last syllable, so kagi. Of course, key also figuratively key to a problem. And yeah, so in our case, key of the mystery. After that, we have the data, which is the past form of the copula. Da, the present form in the affirmative of the copula. Data is the past form. Yeah, we simply add a double consonant ta to make this ta form of the copula. In plain speech, of course. And then we have nza again. So yeah, notice that when we have to conjugate the copula, we actually go back to da. Well, in this case, da, ta. So na is required only in the affirmative positive before nza. And yeah, so it is that this is the key of the mystery, literally, the key to the mystery, we could say better in English. Then we have Toruyo, so yeah, we have the name of our protagonist, and Yo. So in this case, actually, Yo, more than the final sentence particle, is actually like a vocative. So yeah, simply added after kind of like a hey. But yeah, simply to call that person. And yeah, after that we have subete no nazo wa toketa zo. First and foremost, we have again subete. In this case with the possessive particle no, and so again actually more like an adjective, all followed by a noun. Again, in Japanese it's strictly technically a noun plus no, the possessive particle, the genitive case particle. Modifying our naso again, then we have the topic particle wa, and then we have this verb toketa from tokeru. Actually check its accent. It's the intransitive form. In this case, unlike most verbs we have seen, usually the verb, the form in u is the intransitive one, and the one in eru is the transitive one. In this case, it's the opposite, unfortunately. But yeah, simply you have to be careful. But yeah, in this case, it's difficult to see. But usually you'd see the subject or object particle, and yeah, so you can distinguish also by that. Toku, the transitive one, means to solve. Well, can also mean to physically untie, unfasten, unwrap, undo, unbind, unpack, and also to unsew, unstitch by extension. But yeah, most likely literally to untie and so on. Figuratively, to untie a mystery, like in our case, and so to solve a mystery. But yeah, in our case, we have actually the intransitive form, and so to be solved, physically more like figuratively, to be solved, physically to loosen, to come untied. But yeah, accented both. Our form is a root verb instead verb, and so we can simply drop the root and add ta to make the ta form, and so the past form of the verb in the affirmative. Last but not least, we have the final sentence particle. So, so the translation is all. As for all the mysteries, have been solved. Yeah, can continue. And yeah, literally, as we got to hear, Professor Rock said it, we also heard the voice. Soraja. And yeah, just like in English, that where he says it's the sky, and yeah, literally here it's the sky, because Sora, accent on the first syllable, means sky, the air, also the heavens, but yeah, other extended meanings, but yeah, the fundamental one is sky. And then, yeah, of course, then we have the copula again, za. It's the sky. And yeah, after that, he says, Ano sora ni ukandeiru Nijiro no kumo ga himitsu no kousu dattan ja. And yeah, he says, first and foremost, we have ano, so that, technically over there, but yeah, the demonstrative adjective modifying the following noun, which is again Sora. So literally that sky over there. Could also be simply in the, well, in this case would make sense also physically. As I mentioned before, so and that can also be used when talking about something not physically there, so in an abstract manner, with a distinction between the two, but we won't focus on it for now. But yeah, let's stay as simply that sky. Then we have the particle ni. In this case, the locative particle. Again, we used with verbs of staying. A peculiar one in this case, technically, but as we'll see, otherwise we would have the verb, the particle de for all the other verbs. Verb which is ukandeiru, from ukabu. I think actually unaccented, this one. Let's see. Yes, unaccented. Which means to float, to be suspended. It's the intransitive form of the verb. Actually, there's another intransitive one, which is technically more common. Uku, also actually accented, so uku. But yeah, you might hear also this ukabu. This one is closer to float, as in can be used also in the meaning to rise to the surface, to appear, by extension, to emerge. But yeah, in our case it's simply to float, as in to be suspended. It's a verb gotten verb, so we have to follow the rules to make that a form. It's in both, so it becomes nde again, because the continuative form first be, then the fell, so b remained, but b, the voiced consonants in Japanese used to be nasalized, so b, and yeah, so actually the nasal remained, and also we had to voice the following de again, because de was pronounced de at the time, so yeah, literally now written as on its own and then de. The form required because we add iru then, yeah, so again continuing action or state. After that we have a noun, modified also by a certain something, but yeah, so again relative clause that floats, is suspended in that sky. Yeah, we can see now why we use the particle ni. Then we have nijiro. Should be unaccented because actually words with iro. We have seen iro on its own, I mentioned it, means color, accent on the last syllable, on its own. Other extended meanings, but yeah, the fundamental one is color. And yeah, it's actually used as a suffix for colors, the color of something. In our case, I'll then also check the accent of nijiro, but yeah, it should be unaccented following that rule. But yeah, niji, the color of niji, unaccented, means rainbow. Color of the rainbow, so rainbow color. I'll quickly check if I can find nijiro also in the dictionary on its own, but yeah, otherwise I'll quickly check again, but yeah, the rule should be unaccented for words with iro. Yeah, no, I can find it there. Let's quickly check in the suffix part. Iro. And yeah, here it is, it's unaccented. Then we have the possessive particle no, again simply to connect it. Technically, nijiro would be a noun, but again can take the possessive particle no, the genitive case particle, to make an adjective. Rainbow colored something. In our case, kumo. I think accent on the first syllable, but we'll see. There's technically a different one, but in this case it's clearly, also considering the context, but as we'll see also soon enough. Kumo, which means cloud. The other one, by the way, means spider. Also accent on the first syllable, so unfortunately you can't use the accent to distinguish them. But yeah, the context clearly helps. Yeah, cloud, a rainbow colored cloud. Then we have the subject particle ga. Then we have himitsu. We have seen it before in this very series, also in this very expression. Means a secret, unaccented on its own, it's a Chinese compound, so makes sense. Again, secret becomes in the sense of like an adjective in practice, because when we add the possessive particle no, literally noun plus possessive particle again. And yeah, after that we have course, so secret course. Yeah, we have already seen it in the hint at the end of Professor Oak's checks. Last but not least, we have data, again, the past form of the copula in the affirmative, and then again, nza. So the translation becomes it is that the rainbow colored cloud that floats is suspended in that in the sky. Actually, in this case, I'd say the ano might be referred to the Nijiro no Kuma. No, Kumo, sorry. What I said, Kuma, should we check also its accent. Actually, accent on the last syllable means bear, so yeah, doesn't completely unrelated, but yeah. And of course, here it's Kumo. Could technically be referred to the Kumo, although yeah, technically could be. But yeah, either way, yeah, it is that the rainbow-colored cloud, which it floats, is suspended in the sky. That rainbow-colored cloud was the secret course. Yes, so we have unlocked finally the secret course. Then Professor Oak says, Pokémon no shirushi o tsukutta nanimo no ka ga kumo no ue ni iru ni chigai nai. First and foremost, we have a usual Pokémon no shirushi, Pokémon signs. Then we have the object particle o. Then we have the verb tsukutta, which means to make, from tsukuru. Should be actually accented, so tsukuru, tsukuru, tsukuru. Tsukutta in our case, yeah, accented, to make, as in to produce, to manufacture, to build, to construct. Can change also the kanji to specify the meaning. Here we have it in kana, of course. By extension also to prepare food. But yeah, the fundamental meaning to make. It's a verb, colon verb, so we have to follow the rules to make the form also. It's in ru, so it becomes double consonant ta. Again, most likely continuative form ri. Then the i fell, and so sukur ta, difficult to pronounce, became double consonant instead, and ta. Tsukutta. After that, of course, something else comes. Actually, a noun. So again, as usual, relative clause. Noun, which is nanimono. Actually, I think in this case, maybe the ka after it, yeah, it's actually because first we have nani, what, the interrogative pronoun. Then we have this mono in the middle, which could be thing, as in object. As we have seen with a different kanji, we have studied both in a previous series. It means, by extension, also person. usually used not on its own but in compounds, like in this case would be. So yeah, literally, what kind of thing, what kind of person. So yeah, in that sense, what. And then after that we had ka, which is technically the interrogative particle, final sentence particle. But yeah, when attached to interrogative pronouns, usually without the mono, but in this case we also have that, you get the corresponding some word. So nanika, usually you'd find, still accent on the na, should be on the first syllable. We quickly check, but yeah, we've seen it before. Means something. But yeah, in this case, in addition, we have this mono in the middle, so yeah, it becomes, in this case, actually, mono in the sense of person, and so yeah, someone. But yeah, again, here we can literally would be, could be a question, what kind of person, nani, mono, ka. But yeah, because we have this, we have the interrogative particle, because it's not known exactly what person, and this uncertainty is why we get by adding ka to the pronouns, the interrogative pronouns, we actually get the corresponding some word, because that's also not uncertain. Someone isn't a specific person, someone, an indistinct one. And yeah, so nani mono ka means someone. Usually for someone we have the simpler expression dare ka, so simply using dare, which means is the interrogative pronoun, which means who, and then yeah, we simply add ka. But yeah, in this case we have this expression, someone, or better, I translate it here, the one, of course, and the unknown, the one. Yeah, as we'll see also with the further, with the full translation. After that, we have the subject particle ga. Then we have ano kumo, again ano, simply that, over there. And yeah, after that, kumo again, cloud, that cloud over there. Then we have the possessive particle no, to attach it to the following word, which is the noun ue, top, above, over, up, simply. And then we have the locative particle ni, at, in, again used with locative verbs of staying. In our case here even seem easier, because after it we have iru again. So to be, as in to exist, can also be translated as simply there is, there are. Let's say in this case it is at literally the top of that cloud. It is up over that cloud, and so on. Yeah, so simply we have this structure, noun something, the possessive particle ue, to say that it's something above that something, up that something. Last but not least, we have this expression, ni chigai nai. Which means there's no doubt. I'll quickly check it also, potentially also for the accent. Well, maybe I simply have to remove the ni, but yeah, usually you'll find it always with this ni chigai nai. After verbs, for example, like in this case, yeah, simply after a sentence. Literally would be without doubt, or even better, no mistaking it. Well, without doubt technically is closer in a sense to also the structure in Japanese, because ni, well, we have this ni, which is required as the particle to connect it to the previous verb, in our case. But after that we have chigai, which comes from the verb chigau, unaccented, means to differ, also to be different, to be distinct, to be unlike, to but yeah, better to keep in mind the fundamental meaning to differ, because it's a verb, it's not an adjective in Japanese. Then we have well, it's a U verb, codan verb, so we can change the U into I to make the continuative form, and so actually the corresponding noun chigai means the fundamental meaning is technically difference, distinction, discrepancy, difference, let's say. And by extension it becomes also for the verb, it's a meaning also, an extended meaning also for the verb chigau, mistake, error, yeah, because chigau can be used also to differ, and so in the sense to be wrong, to be incorrect, to be mistaken. And yeah, we have this noun chigai, unaccented, implied a subject particle ga, or potentially also the topic particle, as that so often used with a negative verb. In our case, technically, actually a negative adjective, nai. Nai is the adjective which means non-existent, but in this case used as a replacement for aru. We don't conjugate aru to be, as in to exist, for inanimate things. So like in our case, concepts, like a mistake, doubt, or a doubt, better a mistake technically. But yeah, we don't conjugate aru to make the negative, we simply replace it with the adjective nai, because it already has the meaning non-existent, to not be, as in to not exist, non-existent. Yes, so literally again, nichigai nai would be non-existent mistake, and so yeah, without doubt, no mistaking it. Without doubt, honestly, closer even to, in a sense, to the Japanese structure. But yeah, so we can translate it. Without doubt, there's no mistaking it, that the someone technically better, as I mentioned, the unknown one who made the Pokémon signs is, you could say also would be, but yeah, better is in, I'd say, in this case, simply in general, is on top of that cloud. And yeah, so we have the translation, there's no mistaking it. The unknown one who made the Pokémon signs is above that cloud. And yeah, after that, Oak says, Arata ni Nijiro no Kumo ni Ikeru yo ni shite oitazo. First and foremost, we have Arata, which is an adjective, which means new, accent on the first syllable, so Arata. An adjective, and so by adding ni instead of na, we can make the corresponding adverb. So technically, newly. By the way, notice that we have seen before, also maybe in this series, another adjective which has the same meaning, atarashi. In that case, e adjective should be accented, so as usual on the second to last mora, so on the shi. Yes, it's accented. And yeah, same meanings. Yeah, there are simply actually the same kanji if we were to write them with the kanji. But yeah, simply atarashi is e adjective. This one is an adjective. But yeah, of course this one also shorter, so it's convenient also for that, even though atarashi is used in Japanese. After that we have Nijiro again, so rainbow colored, again with also the possessive particle, so to connect and modify the following noun, which is Kumo, again, so cloud, rainbow colored cloud. Then we have the particle ni, in this case to, direction, but even better destination, because simple direction we can use also the particle e, written as he, to, towards, a generic direction. This one is also actually not simply go towards, but go there as you arrive there. And then yeah, after that we have the verb ikeru from iku, to go, unaccented. It's a verb, codon verb, so we can change the u into e and add ru to make the potential form, so can go. And yeah, again, then we see this structure which we have seen before, yo ni suru. Yo, again, we have seen it multiple times. Form, style, design, way to, method of doing. For after nouns, also like similar to, after verbs, appearing, looking. But in this case, when we add yo, ni, and also the verb suru after it, the meaning is make it so that, and then in this case with the potential form of the verb before it. And so yeah, make it possible to see to it that, as it also says here in the dictionary, to make sure that, to try to make an effort to but yeah, in this case, literally would be to make it so that you implied can go, and so on. Suru, in this case, unaccented, the verb to do is in its the form. Unfortunately, suru is completely irregular, so you have to remember it becomes ste. Then we have, after that, we have the form of the verb, because then we had oita, from the verb oku, unaccented, on its own, to put, to place. We have even seen it in its usage on its own in this very series. It's a verb gotten verb, so we have to follow the rules. It's in ku, and so again it becomes ita. After that, the form of a verb ku gets the meanings to do something in advance, to put figuratively the action of that verb and do it in advance, well, for future usage, like in our case, can also mean to leave something in a certain state, to keep something in a certain state, but yeah, that's another meaning. Also related, of course, to its fundamental meanings, to put, to place. And yeah, last but not least, we have the final sentence particles of. Yeah, so the translation is I made it in advance. I made it for future usage, so that you implied again, can go newly, technically, let's see if I can find also actually a better translation for that. In this case, yeah, no. But yeah, in the sense that literally it's a new thing that we can do. But yeah, I made it so that you can go to the rainbow colored cloud. Okay, after that, Professor Oak says io. Well, first let's read it. Io Pokémon Airando no Chousamo Climax ja Gambatte kure Toru. I read it fully. Yeah, first let's focus on the first part before the first exclamation mark. Yeah, first and foremost we have io, which is an adverb, accented, by the way, actually on the first yo, so io, so low, high, low, low, which can mean either more and more, all the more, increasingly, and that's most likely also why we have this doubling of the io. By extension, it also means at last, finally, beyond doubt. Also in a negative meaning, at the last moment, worst possible time. But yeah, the fundamental ones, I'd say more and more. But yeah, also by extension, and this is the one that interests us in this case. At last, finally. Then we have Pokémon Airando, again Pokémon Island. Then the possessive particle no. Then we have Chosa. I think we have seen it before in this very series. But yeah, Chousa is a Chinese compound, which means investigation, examination, inquiry, survey. Yeah, the fundamental meaning is investigation. Accented, so be careful. It's a Chinese compound, but it's accented on the first syllable. Then we have the inclusive particle mo, so also, even. Then after that we have kuraimaksu, of course from English, climax. Notice the doubling of the consonant in this case. After the ma, kuraimakusu. And by the way, also the u in the final ku barely heard if at all, because it's between unvoiced consonants. Potentially also the su, but yeah, in this case, first and foremost the ku, kuraimaksu. Yeah, also to mimic the x sound from English, kuraimaksu. We'll quickly check its accent. Actually, in Japanese, it's accented on the ma, so as if it were climax. But yeah, so keep it in mind. Kuraimaksu. And yeah, then after that, of course, the copula ja. And so yeah, so the translation is at last. Even the investigation of the Pokémon Island, it's we have to adapt it in English at its climax. It's the climax of the also of the investigation of the Pokémon Island at last. After that, we have the verb. We have gambatte kure. We have seen it even, I think, in this very form from gambaru. Again, literally to stick stubbornly. And so yeah, it's a compound verb. And so yeah, the meaning is to persevere, to persist, to keep at it, to hang on, to hold out, to do one's best. Often in that's the usage. You have definitely, if you have ever heard in anime, video games and so on, gambatte or gambare, the expressions, yeah, it's that one. In our case, we have gambatte, that the form. Gambaru is a U verb, colon verb, so we have to follow the rules. It's in ru, so it becomes double consonant te. The form in this case required to then add kure. From kureru, we have also seen this. It's a verb of giving, unaccented. To give when someone else that isn't the speaker, when someone else, the receiver is the speaker or someone close to the speaker, so someone else gives to the speaker, and so on. Of course, after that, the form of a verb actually do the favor of doing the action of the verb in te. And then we also have this exception, because technically kureru, kure, we drop the ru because it's a ru verb, it's then verb, to make the continuative form. But yeah, this one is actually a peculiarity of kureru. By doing so, we actually make what's clearly, and you can also see it by the context, an imperative form. Actually, a plain one, by the way. Yeah, so we get the translation becomes do me implied the favor of doing your best, all the other potential meanings of Gambaru. And last but not least, we have Toru, again, the name of our protagonist. But yeah, and with that, we've finally finished this dialogue. We actually have a little time, so we can actually go to the course. Yeah, we get to hear Yatta from our protagonist as usual when we unlock a course. Again from Yaru, the tough form. Yeah, used as an exclamation as hooray! Literally, I did it. But yeah, we have some time, so we'll check the name and the description. Well, the name is simply, and funny enough, in rainbow colors. Niji no Kumo, again, so actually in this case we have it's shortened, of course, to also stay fit in there. Niji, rainbow, so yeah, literally rainbow cloud would be by the way, again, Niji actually, so unaccented. Possessive particle no, and then Kumo, cloud, rainbow cloud. The description says, well, actually, what our protagonist says, Kore ga Himitsu no Kousuka. And yeah, again, we have Kore, this, as in this one, the demonstrative pronoun, this, the subject particle ga. And again, Himitsu no Kousu. Secret course. Last but not least, the interrogative sentence particle. I'd say more than an actual question, even though technically you could make it like this, also without the interrogative, the question mark at the end. Ka on its own is enough in Japanese technically. But yeah, considering the context, I'd say so this is the secret course, like as in this is the secret course, isn't it? Or it could technically be a legitimate question. But yeah, I'd say the former translation makes more sense considering the context that Ok has explained it all. And yeah, after that he says, Yosh! Maboroshi no Pokémon no shashin ni totte yaru zo. Notice the small tsu at the end, again because in that case it signals that there's an abrupt end, so zo, a quick zo, instead of zo, a full zo, zo. But yeah, as for the translation, first and foremost we have again Yosh, with that lengthening, and also again with that kind of tilde to show the kind of pitch Yosh of this kind. But yeah, simply to give more emphasis, to literally show the how it's pronounced. But yeah, it's again Yosh, so yoi, the adjective, in its classical form and used so as an exclamation, but yeah, the meaning is simply good. And all the extended, so nice, alright, even better as an exclamation. But yeah, okay. Yeah, literally would be good as in the classical form of the adjective yoi. Then we have Maboroshi. technically should be, I think, a noun again, also considering the no after it. Maboroshi means phantom, as in vision, illusion, apparition. Other extended meanings, but yeah, the fundamental ones are illusion, phantom, vision, illusion, I say, fundamental meaning. And yeah, after that we have the genitive case particle, no, the possessive particle, and so again, actually, it becomes kind of, in practice, an adjective. The phantom, and after that we have Pokemon, so yeah, the phantom Pokemon. Then we have the object particle O. Then we have shashin as usual. Photo. Then we have the particle ni, as in into. And yeah, after that we have the verb totte, from toru, to take, in general, but in this case would have the specific kanji to take a photo specifically. Yeah, literally have shashin before it. In its step form, because it's a verb, so again in ru, so it becomes totte, double consonant te. The form required in this case to then add the verb yaru. We have seen it in its fundamental meaning is to do, a colloquial form of the verb suru, also unaccented, both unaccented. But yeah, after the form of a verb, it can have two meanings, two fundamental meanings. Since yaru by extension can also be a verb of giving, to give, especially to someone of equal or lower status, it can have the usual meanings, do the favor of doing the action of the verb in te. In this case, though, I think it's more the other meaning of the te yaru form, to make active efforts to. So yeah, as you'll often see it in such expressions like in games, anime, and so on. Te yaru, yeah, so in the sense, I'll do my best. Yeah, we can translate it. Okay, alright. I'll do my best. We have to adapt it. I'll make active efforts to take into picture, into photo, the phantom Pokemon. And yeah, with that we have checked out the description, but unfortunately we don't have more time, so we'll have to tackle that stage next time. Let's save. Yeah, let's close. Quickly also save here. Cool, that became better, but yeah, doesn't matter. Okay, let's close it. But yeah, so today we didn't even take the usual break. It was, but yeah, we managed to we did Professor Ox's check for the course, the 6th course last time. We replayed the 6th course and this time took the photo of the Pokemon sign. Did all the checks. After that, we read, translated, explained what Oak had to say to us. And yeah, what we unlocked. We unlocked the explanation of why we unlocked the 7th and last course of the game, the famous secret course. We checked out its description, or better, what our protagonist says about it in the go to course option. And so yeah, next time, which should be on Monday, unless plans change, we'll play that course, and so we'll actually finish the game. We won't finish most likely the series, since we have some things to do after that, but yeah, technically we'll finish the game. But of course, in addition to that, there's also this Sunday, unless plans change, we play a game mostly just for fun. Game which should be Sonic Racing Crosswords, because there should be a new festival, the SpongeBob Festival, and so it's actually quite important, since it's one of the paid DLC characters, and so there's also a new course, a new track, and so yeah, we'll play that. And yeah, okay. See you next time.